Hello, everyone, and welcome to Liz Plays Quest 64. This is episode 11, one of my favorite numbers. Really based on just the way that the word 11 sounds. Uh, which I guess is like the only way that I know that people base their favorite numbers on. It's like how it sounds, right? But you might like how it looks as well. But I'm kind of neutral on how 11 looks. I just like the sound of the word 11. Um, so enough procrastinating. I will be jumping over to the game here. Um, I haven't played this in a couple weeks now because I took a week off. I see we are still in the boil hole. No, Ghost took over my computer and played through this part for me, unfortunately. Um, I don't I don't remember how I was playing this game, to be honest. I know we learned some things about maybe the way that Avalanche hits, although apparently I did not retain them. We're standing in the middle of guys, right? Yeah, that looks good. I'm sorry that I had a week off last week for anyone that was in suspense for the boil hole here. I had a little birthday get together to play some Magic the Gathering that was pretty fun. I played some Elder Dragon Highlander. Which is always a good time. I have to use like my entire brain to remember how to play this game. But I think that we've retained our Avalanche knowledge, I say, as it completely misses. Oh, that hurts me. How was I not just getting destroyed by those attacks? I've lost my touch, is what I'm realizing. I had the Quest 64 magic and one week off, and I'm just like, what? I'm cast adrift here. Miss. Critical miss. Okay. So we did it. We don't have very much HP. I feel like we were in this cave for a full hour last time, which I'm sure is not true, but it feels true. I'm gonna run away from this, and where I'm facing is where I was going. Although now it feels like we're traveling up, which feels wrong. I hate this game. This sucks so bad. Don't hear that wrong. I'm having a great time making these videos, but this game really tries my patience. Also, I feel like I made a joke last time where I was speaking about the secret, like, optional city that is in the game, and how I read something online that was like, oh, you better go there, it'll be worth your while or whatever. And I was like, literally, what could it be that would be worth my while? And for some reason, the way my brain like parsed them saying that in the guide was like, they mean that I'm going to be like really taken by the majesty of the city. But what they actually meant was that there's like 9 spirits to pick up there, which to me is like 9 levels, essentially. So that probably would have been good to do, and I figure that if we die in the boil hole, and I don't, and imagine that happens, and I don't just like rage quit the whole Let's Play, which is a distinct possibility. then we will probably take a detour, go to the optional city and pick up those spirits, and then before coming back. That's my game plan. I'm also like extremely suspicious that we did get turned around, which is totally fine. Not extremely tilting. I knew that we were supposed to be heading like directionally down. So yeah, that'll be our plan. I'm also gonna run from as many of these battles as I can. Which is like really a dangerous choice, since that's probably the way that you get turned around the most, is by running away and not having Brian like auto point where he was headed. I think it's worth using Magic Barrier against one of these fish when we're in melee range, because getting hit by the 3 rocks is devastating, and we do have enough mana right now. So we're good, we're good. Yeah, glad to be back. Playing some Quest 64. I know I expressed some initial frustration with the game and this dungeon, feeling like it's endless. But it's, I need to put it in the category of being like a little meditative, right? We're just doing resource management. So I guess I've had a couple weeks now of just stuff going on since I recorded one of these. Ouch. And also miraculously have not had that much going on. My big news, I suppose, is that I'm signing up for violin lessons. I know that I have talked a little bit about picking the violin back up on the show, and I honestly can't remember if I talked about it on this series or on my Elnard series. Yeah, I will be starting violin lessons because it is like completely kicking my ass that I can't play at all anymore. And I'm so scared of practicing and doing more harm than good. Like playing out of tune and then like getting muscle memory that like playing out of tune is what I should be doing. That I'm gonna go and get some damn lessons, and I'm like super nervous. Tomorrow might be the first day, although I'm not sure yet. I'm like waiting for a call back from the education director. They're gonna call me tomorrow at 9 a.m. to let me know if I'm starting like tomorrow or next week. And I am so nervous to sit down and like play in front of someone. Almost as nervous as I am that I am heading upward once again in this dungeon. But yeah, I played the violin like enough in high school. Like I played all through high school and like a little bit in college. And I wasn't like the best ever or anything like that. It is so tempting to me to put a point in water because it's that 39 and I just want to make it around 40, but I will put it in in rock. I also am going to trust that we're going in the right direction, although I'm trusting it less and less the further we go here. So I played the violin quite a bit, and now I just can't play in tune. Like I just can't do it. I've like lost just enough of the muscle memory that it just sounds horrible. But I like know enough to know that it sounds horrible, and it's driving me crazy. So I'm gonna go in and pay someone more qualified than me to tell me what I need to do differently to make it sound okay. But I'm excited. It's been one of those things, like, you get so caught up in college and early adulthood and some stuff like drops off, and I feel like the violin dropped off for me, and I just like really miss playing music with other people, so I'm very excited to get started. I've halted Brian because it appears that we are at the boss. I have no idea how good we'll do on this, and my fear is that there's no save point close to the boss, so if we die, we will have to go through the entire boil hole again, which I swear took like an hour. So let's take inventory of our resources here. Increases defense, great. A couple of those. We have a couple 10 mana restore, a full mana restore, 20 mana restore, another full mana restore, a couple 100, 150. So I think we go for it. I think we use all our resources, and I also think that we magic barrier avalanche. I think. Angry. Fargo, welcome, fool. You've done my work for me and brought me the other 3 precious jewels. That weakling Vegas thinks that I will hand them over to him. Wrong. I and only I will be the king of Keltland. The world belongs to me. Now hand them over. Just taking a sip of my bevy here for a moment. I didn't restore my... I guess... I should have run around in circles to restore my mana before this fight. Trying to think of my best opening move here. I guess we'll just like... I have a hard time finding the magic barrier in our menuing here. Okay. So I think we want to be like close to him, but not too close. Damage is pretty good, and our barrier has held out at least 2 turns, so no complaints there. Okay, 300 damage isn't that good if you just like... Where is the magic barrier? Okay. Wait, my own magic barrier can miss? What? No way. So we will be at the point where we need to use a mana potion soon. The strategy seems a little OP, although I've missed maybe 3 times in a row now. This sucks. This spell sucks. We'll just go for a full magic power recovery and use our magic barrier. I don't know if I'm just like completely throwing this fight with the strategy. Going to use a honey bread to be safe. We'll eat one hit here. We seem to have him in a good spot to hit our avalanches. This is so stupid. Eat that hit, except not because it missed, which is great. Okay, well that was extremely easy. Fire ruby obtained. Now what? Now what do I do? I'll get that spirit is what I'm gonna do. Okay, so I think we have all of the elemental jewels. So that means we're done with the game, right? This is where I came from, right? Chest. So I just replaced the mana potion that we had to use during that fight. I'm just trying to figure out if there's 2 exits here. I don't think there are. I think it's just the one. So, sorry to be like a pain in the ass, but I am gonna look this up because class 64 guide, because I'm not just gonna run around and waste everyone's time. Let's see. Boil hole. After the fight, you obtain the fire ruby. You now have all 4 jewels. Walk down the ramp in front of where you fought Fargo. If you make a hairpin turn right, you'll see a spirit. Yep. Now go north and then east. You will meet up with yet another tunnel. Follow it for a minute and you will see light. Then you will be at Barragoon Moor. Okay, so there are 2 exits. I'm just completely turned around. So that said, I'm sorry for my horrible Windows sounds. Go north and then east. North and then east. This is not east. This is west. East. I think this is where I came from. So assuming that it's where I came from, so I'm coming down. Or it's not, because I didn't see this chest, right? You know, other N64 games had visual indicators in them. Like, I know that I'm not the most, like, good at telling where I'm supposed to be going in video games. Okay, Wait, this must be where I came from, because why would it be so long? Oh, it's not. This is a new way. I don't know what I'm talking about. Love this music. Love this spooky area. Aragoon Moor. Huh. Okay. Sorry, I just want to see if I can get into this structure, hoping that there's a some kind of save point, ideally. Say, are you traveling somewhere? If you're trying to get to Brannock, you better not go. Would you like to stay for the night? Spirit. So I think we're at the end of the game. I'm sure that there is a really long dungeon for our end, because why wouldn't there be like a freaking endless maze right before the final boss or whatever? But I have to assume this is it. Stocking us up on items for our big battle. So I'm sorry that we didn't go to the optional city that had like 9 spirits in it. The road is out. The road is out. Surely I'm not supposed to... Well, there's a spirit, so that's nice. Okay, so how do I get over there? Oh, literally, there's just a little lip over there that you can walk past. Okay. Wait, this area has its own enemies? And one of them is this little guys that I hate. This is an ogre. Yeah, I'm telling you, we have this new enemy, the ogre. It's like in this new scary area, and I am more scared of this stupid little rock guy that dodges all of my moves and has 1,000,000 HP. I will just be using all of my mana to heal back up from that. I'm sure we should be spending a little bit of time here leveling, but I will not be doing that. It's a town of some sort. A castle town. I'm lucky I was able to escape with my life, but I wonder if it matters. I have no place to go anymore. My uncle here is lucky he wasn't here when the evil soldiers raided his farm. Perhaps you can help me to convince him that we'll be alright. Well, I hope they work it out. It's not a real door. Are you thinking of entering the castle? No one is allowed through the main gate anymore, but there might be a way through the back. But why would I want to try? Don't tell me a skinny little runt like you would dare to challenge the king. Ahaha. 2 fortnights ago, a mysterious woman accompanied by a wicked spirit came to see the king. He became a very different person after that. King Baigus will let nothing stand in the way of his new and horrifying magic. He intends to conquer all of Keltland. I just honestly don't know how to pronounce that name. You won't need to go off to war if you say you're injured, but no matter, we're all doomed anyway. Ah, it's all over for me. So many things I wanted to do. Now there's no time. It's very sad. Idle chatter will get us nowhere. King Baigus is set on burning everything in sight. Here, I'll give you this hero's drink. We have no need of it anyway. Perhaps it will help you when you need it the most. You, a magician? What's going on here? Just the other day we captured another magician, but he was older and seemed to have great powers, but I doubt that he has survived our king's wrath. That's probably Bartholomew, my father. On a quest to recover the Elatail book. So the front door should be locked, and we have to go some sort of back way. Try the front door, though. Oh, just kidding, it's not locked. Okay, this is probably locked. Some cool, sorry about my mouse on the screen. It's terrible. Okay, so we had those fire fish and now we've got water fish, which I guess makes more sense. This butterfly has a lot of HP. Or maybe it just wasn't hit very much. Hard to say. Yeah, it sure seems like for the Avalanche, you want to be in melee, but not too much in melee. Oh my god. This thing hurts. Well, we took a lot of damage walking up to the castle here. Looks cool, though. Red Rose Knight. So I assume the door is going to be locked. So we will be looking for the back way in. It was not very challenging to find. All right, here we go. What I assume is the last dungeon. We've likely regened enough mana to just heal ourselves to full, which is nice. These knights don't seem to be too much of a problem. This is a very weird area. Some intense music. This better not be sending me around in a circle, because it sure feels like it's just mirrored with the other side of the castle. As annoying as Avalanche is, I can kind of understand why it's considered to be like the OP spell, because I would be going crazy if I had to just like individually pick off all of these enemies in all of these battles. Chest. Nice. So that's another full mana restore, which I can't complain about. But I think we're just like mostly in the thick of the dungeon now. I'm kind of low HP, huh? It's such an annoying. I'm just dead. Oh, I fucked up. I thought I still had my magic barrier and I super didn't for those last couple hits. So that's my bad. That was purely a operator error. So we'll go on back. All the way back. I don't think there was like an inn in the castle town. Sorry everyone. Just adjusting my cables and stuff. I don't think there was an inn closer. Absolutely not. I will not be fighting these guys. No way. I'm not against old games. I'm having a great time making this, but oh my god. I've actually been playing an old game. If you aren't watching this at the time it was released, this is when this episode has come out, I would say that like the big game right now is Baldur's Gate 3. I think that I probably mentioned it already on the show. I'm a big Baldur's Gate fan. Played all those games, but I don't love Divinity 2 because I don't like the turn-based combat. I'm like old school and I want it to be real time with pause. And this is one of those things where it's like that is my preference and I know that I'm like wrong. Like I know that like for the good of gamers everywhere, I just like am not correct. Feeling like old Baldur's Gate combat is better than like the new system, but it's just like, it's just the way I feel. So instead of playing the new Baldur's Gate, just because I didn't like Divinity 2, so I'm not convinced that I'll like Baldur's Gate 3, I'll probably pick it up in like a sale or something at some point, but I'm not gonna buy it right now. But I got Icewind Dale 2 working on my PC, which is pretty cool. It was, oh, here's an inn. There is an inn here. Shadow has fallen on the city. King Baigus brings pain and anguish to all. He has rounded up and jailed many who rose against him. It's even possible your father's in prison if he tried to challenge the king's powers. Why would someone come to Brannock when war is about to break out? Why don't you stop for a rest while there's still time? What was I saying? Oh, I got Icewind Dale 2 working. It was very challenging to get to work on Windows 10, and no, I don't have Windows 11 yet. Because you have to do all the stuff to it to make it run. Because it has something to do with like the way like direct draw works, or in this case does not work on new PCs. Which direction am I going? Probably this one. So you have to like download some mods and stuff, and which really doesn't sound that hard because it's not actually, but it like feels like you have to do so much to get it running. So that's been a good time. The thing that you don't remember about those games is how much you have to frickin' walk everywhere. There's a lot of walking in Icewind Dale 2. I really enjoyed the Pillars of Eternity games, like a lot, and I even played Pillars of Eternity 2, and I'm so sad that nobody bought that game because I would take a Pillars of Eternity 3 gladly I would play that game. But I don't think we'll ever get it, because no one played the second one. But one of the best things it did was that it added like a speed up button. Like you could like make your guy like could double the speed of the game so that when you had to like travel across a map, it would speed you up, and Icewind Dale 2 sure could use that. I don't know, maybe those are in the like Baldur's Gate Enhanced Editions or something. I have no idea. I told myself I would only make this episode 40 minutes because I keep pushing like an hour-long episodes, and that's like a long time. But part of the reason that that keeps happening and that I keep making episodes this long is because I feel like I can't accomplish anything in less than an hour. Although I guess this episode was like super front-loaded because we started with the boss and we beat the boss, and now we're in this like presumably really long dungeon. So I'm gonna get to the part where we run into the treasure chest that we've already opened, and then I'm gonna call it. In Icewind Dale 2, you can make 6 characters. Is like the party size. And I've always made 6 characters, but I was reading about how 4 characters is so much better because you're not splitting the XP, and like the way that the like character growth works is that you're just like way more powerful as 4 higher level characters with like the D&D system than you are at a certain point with 6 lower level characters. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm doing just like the classic D&D party of wizard, fighter, cleric, rogue. I almost died again because I wasn't really paying attention to my health. I'm out of practice. I took a week off and now I don't know how to play this game anymore. It's funny that they even got these enemies to fit in this like little hallway. The White Rose Knights are no problem. They hit me for like 14 a lot of the time. I have no idea what agility means in this game. Like, actually no clue what that could mean. There was a chest we opened, right? I didn't make that up from the last dungeon. Okay, I'm gonna try really hard not to die here. Because that wind attack actually hurts quite a bit. Ouch. Do I use a potion here? Do I have to? I heal for 49, he hits me for 46. So we have to use a healing potion. I don't love to do it. We need to figure out how to sustain these fights better. And that's probably just me being a little careless. Okay, so there's our treasure chest. So we're gonna call it here, but we made good progress. We fought the boss and succeeded, and now we're in the last dungeon. Crossing my fingers that that's true. So for now, I will see you next time.